Hello and welcome back everybody to Let's Play 35 plus years of Advanced Squad Leader. Monday today, which means that without any word from Rob, it is a solo night. And that means we're going to dive back into some German versus Poland, or I guess the Poland campaign, but not Germans today. So today I felt like just picking another at random one, and I managed to find or get this one after doing a little bit of extra searching. Um, this is a scenario that was originally printed in the Dispatches from the Bunker scenario packs, or I guess more specifically magazine or quarterly. But essentially, they've always got like 2 to 4 scenarios, I believe, in every issue. It's really cool. People should definitely support Dispatches from the Bunker. Um, and fortunately or unfortunately, depending on how you want to look at it, riding the Coattails, which is originally scenario DB40, was taken from the Dispatches from the Bunker magazines and slotted into a scenario pack that was, I guess, I mean, done with presumably authorization from Vic, or the designers of these scenarios. But MMP published a scenario pack called Out of the Bunker. These were 12 to 14 scenarios, I believe, all taken from various dispatches from the bunker. So, which is unfortunate because unless you have a legacy, quote unquote, legacy version of the magazine, you can no longer buy the dispatches from the bunker issue and get riding the coattails. So the only way to do so is to buy Out of the Bunker. So it's a little bit unfortunate. I'm not a huge fan because the dispatches were, for the most part, or at least as far as I'm aware, digital products for a long time. I don't know if they've ever been in print, presumably, but anyways, that part is neither here nor there. It's more important to just be able to observe the history that these scenarios originally existed in one format and then they were taken out. So now, if you do support Dispatches from the Bunker, which you still should, they've got like dozens and dozens of issues. They've been producing scenarios since, I mean, this one is from 2004, so they've been around for a very long time. I think they try to go for quarterly, so four magazines, 4 issues per year. And again, all these issues have some cool Q&A stuff. There's a lot of local news with regards to tournaments and such. And also, just it's a very nice resource that I think everybody should pay attention to, or at least give some time of day to. So, with all that said, this is just to really expand upon the fact that while I am playing Riding the Coattails, I do not believe that there's anything different from OB-1, scenario OB-1, and scenario DB40. So, um, anyways, what makes it interesting is that this is a Slovakian versus Polish scenario. So there was a limited advance and limited action with Slovakian troops trying to take some territory off of the Polish while the Germans were invading. So we get a little bit of that today. I'm going to try to do this as well as possible here. This is another small scenario, so 8.5 squads for the defenders, 12 squads for the attackers. There is a Tachanka, and I'm going to try and not use it as much as possible because I hate Tachankas. And I think there's, longtime viewers will know why I don't necessarily want to play with them. But anyways, so uh, like I said, 8.5 squads versus 12, so it's small unit action here. EC is moderate, no wind at start. All buildings are wooden, no good order units may refuse surrender. That's a really important one because the way that it forces you to take prisoners means that you can not really game the system necessarily, but you can take advantage of a unit having to guard, at least temporarily. Because you can still release units, but that's not really a smart thing to do either. Now, that also works into the victory condition. So the Polish all set up on hex row M and north of it, so to the right, and the Slovakians set up on hex row Q and to the south of it, so to the left. Now, it's essentially a CVP race. Well, I guess not a race, but more of a marathon or whatever, however you wanna call it. They win. Slovakians win by having more VPs than the Polish. Both sides get CVP normally. The only exception is that the Slovakians also receive 1 VP for each building they control in the Polish setup area. This is basically just to eliminate, I believe this is U8. U8 would not be under control, like technically starts under control of the Slovakians. It's not in the Polish setup, so you can't get that 1 VP. So yeah. Anyways, should be, hopefully this will be a short scenario. And as always, whenever I'm playing on Monday, I do hope that everything is going well with Rob, and that especially I don't recall him being too far south, but anybody who is in the Florida area, there's been some nasty weather that's been going your way in the last little bit, and continues to do so this week. So I hope everybody out there is safe. So without further ado, weather is a change. Okay. Well, I guess I have to turn 1 do some actual changes, which is kind of wild because that never really happens. Let us get a map weather. There is wind now. I believe it's heavy winds if it's a 6. 5 is up and 6 is down, I believe. And if you're on nothing or 0, down is, yeah, it goes to heavy winds. Cool. So now that we have heavy winds, we have to determine a direction at random, because we did not start with wind. So, huzzah, 2. So it is this way. Cool. Also, I just realized I forgot to put down snipers, as is pretty common here. I think that should be legal. I should also mention that, oh, did I put those backwards? No, I didn't. Cool. It should also be noted here, both sides have an ELR of 2, which is terrible. And the Polish essentially just get a small advantage with their sniper being a 3 instead of the Slovakian 2. So that is that. Now, after setup, typically these guys would all gain concealment, and because I actually want it this time around, I will give it to them. But yeah, normally if you don't have concealment, your guys wouldn't be concealed immediately. You'd still be able, like a defending player would still be able to see the top unit, but then afterwards you would gain concealment on all that stuff. But I've got some mortars, and I want to use those mortars. So I think first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to count these out, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to try and have these squads, which apparently are marked as off board for no reason. There we go. So in U3 are going to shoot at the guy in M5. I don't know if this is a good shot or anything. It's not really in the first place, but it is a 6 long range against a concealed unit with a +1, so it's a 1.5 up 1. Shouldn't be anything, but I will now individually have them shoot their mortars. So the first guy will shoot his mortar at the unit he just shot at. And if I've done this incorrectly, I'm pretty sure you're allowed to do this. But if I've done this incorrectly, then I would just shoot the mortar in the first place, because that makes the most sense. Now, that is a hit. It doesn't cower, thankfully. It's not multiple hits because it's a 50mm mortar. I need to find this. And let us link it. Cool. So, so it's a hit. There is no modifier. It's really just shot. I forget if you get acquisition on. I'm pretty sure you're allowed on area target type. So I will shoot a second time because I had rate. I will get a second hit. 6 on a 53-6 Pintash check. Well, this guy will lose his thing and Pintash check. He's fine. Does Sniper? Sniper does not wake up. I do have rate of fire still, so I will take a third shot. Same, doing really well so far, which is pretty insane. That's another Pintash check. This guy's pinned now. Flip this over. I'm gonna take another shot because why not? And nothing. So that first guy's prep fired. The second guy with the mortar, I'm gonna try and shoot at K5. I don't know if I can actually see it, but we're gonna take our chance here. I can. It's range 10, and there's a +1 and then a +2 for the concealed unit. So there's a +3 overall, 9. It's going to be a miss, but I should have acquisition there, which is nice. Good start. Rate of fire, so I will shoot a second time. I will. I said it's +3, and then it will be down 1 for acquisition. That will be a hit. No effect. I do have rate. So that'll be +3 down 2. There's a +1, 8. It is a hit. Dud, rate of fire. No hit and no rate. Cool. Wasn't really expecting any effect out of that one, but it just in case I get like a critical hit or something. I have no other shots, so we'll go to movement phase. And we're going to have some, hopefully some easy movement here. So first and foremost, this guy in R8 is alone. He's going to move up the road for 2 into Q9, 3 into P8, 4 into O8, 5 into N7. And I kind of have to make a really important decision here as to whether or not I shoot and reveal. And I think it makes the most sense to do so because it's just, it's open territory, all that sort of shit. So I'm going to take an 8 down 1. I don't cower because of the leader, thankfully. So it's a 1 morale check. And this guy will break. He doesn't ELR. But nonetheless. And then it should just be a 4, I believe. So now that these guys are revealed, I can make some other decisions here. So stacking Q10 is going to declare CX. They will bypass for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And these guys are going to do the same essentially. So declare CX 1, bypass 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the guys in Q9, I don't particularly care for them to retain concealment. But 1, 2. Yeah, that's just kind of too silly for me to do, so I'm not going to. Yeah, actually, you know what? I will want to try and rally that guy. So I will have 1 squad assault move to P8. The other 2 are going to go 2, 4. And the leader, I guess, will join the guy in P8. This guy will have to route. I think that'll be fine where I'm at. Defensive fire phase, I mean, I might as well take an extra shot here. So it's a 4 flat. No, it should just be, yeah. So nothing happens to that. We can take off our prep and defensive, because the advanced fire phase, I've got nothing going on. Go to routes. A guy in N7 will route back twice to P8. And in the advanced phase, let's spread the love around here a little bit. So these two squads in O9 are going to go to N8. The squad in P8 will go over to O8. This leader is going to lose his concealment when he tries to rally anyways. And then let's do this. And everybody else to L8. Or, yeah, L8. And then these guys similarly will go to L9. I think that's the way to do it. I don't want to move the mortars, because they're going to be blasting away as long as possible, or, you know, until they force a retreat. And then, yeah, we can be done with Slovakian turn 1. Polish turn 1, weather, no change. Rally phase actions, there's only one rally to attempt, and it's for the Slovakians. They will not get it. That will go away. Polas don't have to do anything. I'm not really confident at all with taking on M8, especially since it's concealed. Even if it's CX'd, it's not. I don't think it's worth it, so I'm not going to bother. Is there anything I want to prep fire, though? This guy doesn't have that. There's no point. This is plus whatever, so there's kind of no reason to do anything there. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to go to movement phase, because that's going to be easier for me. So, squad with the leader and M7 are going to go 2 for... They can't go any further, because these guys are green, which I almost forgot about. The squad in M5 is going to go to M6, so he's basically invisible now. And then one of these squads is going to assault move to... K6 and retain concealment. I don't think he can be spotted, so we'll leave it at that. I like the placement of that, so I don't need to move it. And then the guy in J1 will go 2-3 into H2. He can kind of stay where he is. I don't know if I can see that. This guy in J3 is going to assault move to J4. That's going to be super close. Yeah, that's going to be super, super close. I'm going to try upper mortar against the guy that just moved into the open. I don't think he sees it. He does not. Cool. To hit... He's used up his shot, so we can flip this away here. Second mortar will shoot at the building K5. Critical hit. That sucks. No matter what, it's a critical, and it'll be down 2 instead of +2 for the TEM. So normally it's a 6 firepower, it gets doubled to 12, and then down 2, which is a 1 morale check. And that guy is absolutely fine. But he does lose concealment. I do have rate of fire. So I will take a shot. I don't have the +2 anymore for concealment. So he will get it. That will hit. No effect. Third shot, another hit. No effect. So these guys are fired for sure. And I don't think I have anything else I want to do in defensive fire phase. Advanced fire phase, none. We go to routes, nothing. Advances. In the advance phase, they'll go to J8. You can go into the building. You can cycle up here. You can go to L6. Guy in J4 can go into J5. It only makes sense, I think, to do this. And then the guy in H2 goes to H3. And I think that's it for that. We'll go to turn 2 for the Slovakians. Oh, hey, Baron von Saren. You know, someday I'm really gonna be smart and put my phone up so I can see chat live, or at least faster than when I'm doing it, because I've only got two windows, so I always have something in the way. Um, yeah, okay, so I need to take off counters here. Cool. Now, rally phase, turn 2. Got to do weather. No weather change. Pretty standard stuff. What else do we got here? There is one rally to attempt, and they will get it. So that's a Slovakian squad back in the action, which is pretty nice. And I think that's it for rally phase. So we'll go to prep fire. I don't really know what I want to do with the upper mortar. So we'll do the easy decision first. Bottom mortar, we'll take a shot at the building again. Will be a hit and rate of fire. That is a 5-on-3, which is a normal morale check. So squad takes a morale check and are pinned. Sniper doesn't activate. I will take another shot. Essentially the same result. So another hit. No effect. I'll take the shot with rate. Another hit and rate. No effect. Another hit, no rate, and no effect. Cool. Where do I move that guy? There's no real reason to move this Tachanka, to be honest. I kind of really just want him to block these guys from moving. And if I lose the Tachanka, it'll just be annoying. Like, that's a lot of points to just kind of fart away. So, yeah, I think I'm gonna be a little cold on the reception there for those mortars. I don't know if I want to move. I guess technically I could have shot them at other stuff. Maybe I'll have them normal move to T2, and I'll have a better vantage point in S3. And if the Tachanka wants to shoot him, you can shoot at him. Otherwise, movement phase here, there's a lot of options. Oh, you know what I didn't do and I should have done? My apologies. I should have done this. Assemble an MMG, because there's no reason not to assemble the MMG. So, everybody's going to lose CX. The question is really going to be a matter of who wants to kind of sacrifice themselves first. I think it makes the most sense to have the guy in 08 go up. So he's going to go 1 to N7, 2 to M8, 3 to L7, loses concealment. So he's paid 3 to get to L7, and I just realized I should probably also have these at. I was being smart here. Okay, so if I wanted to not risk too much, I think I would take... Yeah, I'm going to take a shot with the green guys. So 8 down 1, I believe. It's not assault movement. So it's a 1 morale check. These guys will break. And these guys are now first fired. That leaves 4 residual, which is kind of nasty. The guy with CX and M8 will lose his CX, goes and will assault move to M7. The greens will shoot again because there's no point not to. That will not do anything. And that is now a 2 residual there. What else do we got here? In a way, it's almost like there's too many options. I think the easy one here is P8, squad and leader are going to go 1, 2, 3, and just kind of stay in M8. Can't get shot at it by anybody, which is pretty nice. Stack and L8 is going to assault move a unit to K8, so they will retain concealment. So, who wants to shoot? I think in the interest of putting down residual, I should have J7 and K7 shoot. So the guy still has concealment, which means even though these guys are doubled to 16, it would go down to 8. So it's an 8 up 1. That's not going to do anything, which is very unfortunate. But there is 4 residual. So now I don't want to throw anybody else there. I am going to toss the remaining units in L8 to K9. And that's going to immediately trigger these greens to shoot, because if you're moving a 4-unit stack or 3-unit stack, there's no reason not to shoot it. Same idea, so it doubles to 8, halved to 4, and then up 1 for woods. It is a 6-on-4, which is a normal morale check. And the leader automatically breaks, because, of course, and the squad also breaks. Go figure. That's a real bummer. I don't need this leader to do anything in terms of movement. So I think the plan here is going to be have one squad. Oh, I also need to do 4. So one squad is going to go to K10, normal move, and then J4 for 4. The greens are going to shoot again. Now it's a 7 on 4 flat, because it's +1 for woods, -1 for non-assault movement. So it's a pintash check. They are absolutely fine. Kind of disappointed that wasn't like a morale check or whatever. There's 2 residual, which isn't the worst thing in the world. I think I'll have a second squad do the same thing. So K10, J9 takes a 2 down 1, which is a 7 on 2, which isn't anything at all. Now, there's a question here of whether or not you do final protective fire, which I don't think is worth it. These guys are already broken. Is there enough to be gained with it? Probably not. Yeah, something tells me it's not worth final protective. I can route with them, so that's not the issue. It's more about weakening the line too quickly, I suppose. I am going to do something very... you know what? I'll take another 2 down 1, 5 on 2, and normal, I believe. Come on. Okay, well, had to happen, I guess. We'll just toss these to the bottom. Cool. So that's it for move. Actually, you know what? In this guy, we'll just go to K10, because why not? That makes the most sense for all the retreats and stuff. Did I move these guys? Apparently not. 2, 4. There. Then I can assault and advance and create a steady line. Should be good. Okay. Defensive fire phase. Nobody's died yet, so maybe if I subsequent these 2, it's a 4 firepower. It's halved twice. I can do 4 firepower against this guy. 4 up 1. Nah. I guess, yeah, knowing that dice roll doesn't make me too sad, because I would have shot at the guy in L7, but if it's missing by that much, it doesn't really matter. All right, advanced fire phase. Oh, you know what? I should mention, hasn't been important at all yet, but the Polish do get, if they're elite or first line, they get assault fire, which they're all first line. Or sorry, they're half of them are first line, half of them are green. So, yeah, I don't think it's gonna matter too much, but you know, could maybe potentially at some point. So. We'll take off defensive here. Advanced fire phase, it's very tricky here. I think there's no reason not to shoot J9. So that'll be 10 firepower up 1 against the greens. I do have rate of fire, I believe. I might have rate of fire. I'm not 100% sure. So we'll play it like they don't, because I forget about it. But either way, it's a great shot. It's a 7 on 10 is 1 morale check. And those guys are pinned, which that is not going to help them out. So I think that's it for advanced fire, honestly. Routes, we'll have the DM guy go back to the leader over there. The guys in K9 will go to K10 to join the leader, and same thing with the guys in J9. They will also back out and spot the leader over there. I think that's it for routes. Yeah. Then we'll do some advances here. You can do that. It's very problematic that the Slovakians have only 3 firepower. I think this makes the most sense, because if I can do something against this leader in the squad, that's great. And I also just realized how bad this is probably going to go for me as the Polish, because of I front loaded all of my my greens, so yeah, might not go too well. Yeah, so that's the advance phase. Oh, right, mortar to S3. That makes the most sense. And then yeah, CC phase. So I got three CCs to do. Let's do the somewhat easier ones here. So over an L6 ambush. So Slovakians, Polish. That is 100% a Slovakian ambush. I am going to attempt to capture, because greens are inexperienced. So there's a -1 for being against an inexperienced unit, and because they have succeeded their ambush, is another -1. So they are a 1 to 2, down 2. That I believe is a success. I don't know if a capture attempt on an equal. I think any value is good. I've never had it equal. Capture attempt, maybe? Where are you in this page? Infiltration, capture a vehicle. Oh, you only capture 1 half squad. Wow, okay. That's very... Huh. That is interesting. Size. These guys are now linked, and then we'll toss him with there. That also means that this guy's not eliminated, so I guess technically they can fight back, which they will do at 1 to 2, because they're worse now. Yeah, so 1 to 2 doesn't happen, so this turns into a melee. Then we'll do this one in the building, so J7, so Slovakians, Polish. The Slovakians... Shoot, really? The Polish are lax because of the green units, pretty sure. So that's another ambush. It says 1 to 2. I don't know if I want to... Do I want to try and capture? I might as well try and capture. I should have gone... it wouldn't matter. Actually, no. The capture is exactly... that'll get me a full squad. That is... Okay. This is not how I thought that this would go, because usually my capture attempts don't work. The leader is now at a 1 to 4 plus 1. Didn't happen. So that's now a melee. And then over here, Slovakians, Polish. The Poles are a +2. 1 for pin, 1 for lax. Nothing else. So there is no ambush there. It's a 6 to 4, so 3 to 2. And then I'm going to try an ambush, or sorry, to capture, because why not? And that'll be another capture. The Poles really can only do... I can do a 1 to 1 against one of the squads. They will. That messes up all the math, and I hate it. Ugh. Okay. So they were at 1 to 1. I need to roll a single die roll. So they are at 1 to 1. Base morale has nothing to change with anything. they weren't on a lower odds, so it's literally just that number, which means they get a 7-0 to pop out of nowhere. So single man 7-0, which should share the status. So he's also pinned. Wait, that's right, he's pinned. So I could only get... Shoot. I wasn't taking that into factor. So 4-3, it wouldn't be a 1-1 because he'd be halved, so he'd be 2-3, which means 1-2. It's still a kill, but it does bring that 7-0 to an 8-0. Now, the two Slovakian squads are still would be fighting 1-1 now, which means they succeed on the capture attempt, but not as a down 2. Not below, which they would have gotten if it was a 3-2. They get it as an equal, which means now a random selection. The squad takes the results, so now it's another half squad that is captured, and then captured by the only survivor because this guy goes away. So there's our first actual death. CVP. And then this goes to the ground. That'll eventually go away, and that's turned into a melee. All right, well, that's can't you use the prisoners to remove concealers? That just hidden units. No, you can't. So prisoners, if I remember correctly, you can't control prisoners without having your own unit in their presence. If you essentially let go of the prisoners, you have to declare that you're abandoning them, and then they essentially go back to their original owner's control. It's a very weird way to look at it because white units, the ownership of white counter units is very strange, because of, not that it's nebulous, but you never really come across it. Like by the time I'm gonna see this sort of interaction again, I'll have probably forgotten the rules, which is unfortunate. But since you can't send prisoners by themselves, they become a liability in that sense, because now anybody that fights a unit that's guarding prisoners, the guarding unit is halved in their firepower. It's also problematic because all of these units being in melee rather than an actual victory means that the prisoners do have a chance to fight back and eliminate their guards. Now, the rules to do so are like, it's not necessarily a 1-1 type thing. I think they still use their 1 firepower, so it's a 1-4. So you have to get really good rolls anyways. But yeah, like it makes this entire front very sticky now, especially since the Slovakians have 8 CVP. Now normally this is 4 because 2 for squad, 1 for half squads, but it's doubled for prisoners, and there's nothing in the objective that says you don't get double, because you gain CVP normally, and normally you get double for prisoners. So the Slovakians need to get 1 building, and then they can technically ride this out, because once the Slovakians have the advantage, the Polish have to attack, and I don't really know where I would attack with, to be honest. Once you start losing too many units, we've seen that snowball time and time again. But yeah. Anyways, all those explanations just to say that prisoners, you can't remove concealment, because it's the owning unit that is traveling with them or would have to travel with them. And there's no hidden units on this map, so it's not something that would come up. But I don't believe that a prisoner would be able to reveal a hidden unit, because the prisoners would have to, like, no matter what, it's the guards with them that would be doing any of the revealing stuff. Unless you meant more in terms of interrogation, and I don't believe that you get interrogation by anything but SSR. And interrogation is very strange in how it interacts, because I love the concept, but it seems to only apply if, like, civilians, like, it's got to be SSR and there has to be civilians, and you have to determine who's a friendly, who's hostile, and all that sort of stuff. There's a lot of mechanics. There's a lot of rules behind the mechanic that I kind of wish was just more frequent. Oh, please tell me that's not the case. I hate this. Why? So I was always looking at this as civilian. So E2, interrogation incidents. Whenever a personnel unit surrenders or is captured, is subject to immediate interrogation. Man, I could have been do. All right. Well, this goes into the bin of things that I've never used but should have been for a long time. That's kind of wild. You know what? I'm glad that. Yeah. No, thank you for pointing that out. That's awesome. I always remember interrogation, but I always think of it as a civilian thing and by SSR only, because I mean, for two reasons. One, this kind of plays into the misconception that I've always had about taking prisoners. Like, if you can't, the whole routing thing, if you have to route and take interdiction or whatever, or like you aren't eliminated for failure to route if you're surrounded. It just means you're taken prisoner. But most people play it the fast and loose way, or at least as far as I'm aware, where the unit's just dead. So you don't take prisoners because prisoners are annoying, and you'd have to go into the bin, find your white counters, and put them on the map and do all the rigmarole. Which then means that nobody plays with the interrogation rule because you're not taking prisoners. Therefore you can't do the secondary part, which, yeah, okay, so that's kind of fun. Which I guess, like, I've gotten 3 half squads. No, 1 full squad and 2 half squads. So let's do. I guess we'll do L6 first. 2 die roll, -1 for inexperienced. That's it. Yeah, he's not a squad, so it's just a -1, and I need a 5 or less no matter what, so nothing there. We'll do J8. That will be a hip unit reveal. There are no hip units, so then you go to the next higher up one, I think it is. If no applicable, select any next higher one, which means I get to reveal a concealed unit, closest in hexes, which is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. It's going to be this. J5 is going to lose their concealment, which sucks. All of his concealment. Yeah, all. Man. Okay. So that happens. And then J7. Wow. Defense is compromised, which means 1 each of fortification, revealed, hip unit, and concealed unit. Well, there's no fortifications or anything, so it just goes to concealment removal, which means I get to show a mortar out in the open. All right. Well, thank you. Yeah, and exactly, Baron. That's in the same light, which I think people jump to no quarter very, very quickly when there's at least some benefit to having, 1 half squad or whatever in the back, just holding on to some prisoners. I think you're not. I think you're allowed to have 4 times their unit size number before you get penalties to IFT or anything like that. So there's even a certain desirability to toss, prisoners with a guy with, either a mortar, for example, or with an MMG or an HMG, because you know, because of the range, you're not really worried about it. Um, yeah, passing, doing the split squads thing is a little, it's pretty cheeky in my opinion. I actually, did I move this kind of advance? I don't think I did. I think I wanted him here no matter what. But yeah, there's a, I forget if it's an article or just in passing. Um, there's a desirability of doing that as the Russians, because the Russians don't get to freely deploy. They only get to deploy under special circumstances, like getting prisoners, or by SSR, I think. Which I don't know too many scenarios that ever invoke that. So yeah, it's kind of like passing him around to do splitting squads is it just feels really cheesy to me. So I never like doing it. It's also very interesting that the whole passing the prisoners thing and splitting squads, it is an instant action that you can take whenever, if I remember correctly. So it doesn't matter if it's in your turn, the opposing, the enemy's turn. I don't think you're allowed to do it like in reaction to being shot at, for example. But you could just suddenly choose to say like, well, you know, in the route phase or whatever, I'm gonna split my guy, and then you can, you know, you can do all sorts of crazy stuff like that with them. You know, you could have a unit split in the advance phase, and then advance the guy, the half squad. Well, I guess not technically. Anyways, you can do some shenanigans. You can't freely transfer them, I don't believe. There's a thing about transferring them for sure, but I think they're like support weapons. So you can get that free transfer in the advanced phase or the rally phase. All sorts of shenanigans like that. But either way, weather has no change for the Polish turn 2. Rally phase, there's quite a few actions to do here, mostly for the Slovakians. So first off, we'll do the easier one. That one does not work. Then in K10, there is... we'll do the broken leader first, because it makes the most sense. Leader does not recover, and then 2 6s, which I will get the first guy, so I'll get an LMG back. We'll take off this concealment as well, and then we can just move this up. Oh, shoot. This had to go back here. I forgot about that. Because of IPC limitations. So that's it for rally phase. Prep fire, I mean, I still don't want to shoot at my own guys. I still think that's a very silly thing to do. And obviously that limits a lot of my actions here. I think first things first, I'm going to have the green units in H3 go to H4 for 1. I don't think either mortar can see them. And they'll go to H5 for 3 total, which is the max that they can do. I just realized I'm still marked in prep fire, and I'm going to try the Tachanka just because. Man, why do I got to do math? Engines is +3. Turns it into a 9. No effect. Oops. Why does Control G do that? You get to be marked prep fire, you weirdo. Cool. Alright, so movement phase. Greens go into the building. I don't think I had a shot in J5 to K8. Although, man, yeah, I'm doing this backwards for no reason. Like, I'm secretly trying to rush this for no reason. 4 up 1. Cowers. Still a 3 on 2. 3 on 2, 3 on 2, 3 on 2 is 1 morale check against the guy in K8. 1 morale check. He's pinned. Sniper doesn't activate. Cool. There we go. So actual movement defense, or movement phase. Guy in J5 is going to assault move to I6. Makes the most sense here. And I I really don't want to overcommit, but I think I kind of need to at this point. At least get K5 to K6 and get them into these woods so I can kind of keep that barrier up. These guys still don't have shots where they are, so I think I'm going to move them 1 and then 2, 3. I don't think the Slovakians have any shots on them. Arguably the mortar, but a lot of stuff in the way, so I'm not gonna worry too much about it. Also, speaking of, that should not be on there anymore. I think that's it for movement. Defensive fire phase. I'm gonna see if I can get this mortar in U3 to shoot into the building. J5, no way. That's a stupid call. Yeah, closer than I thought, but silly call nonetheless. Chunk. All right, nothing. Cool. Mortar in S3. Let's take this off. Mortar in S3 is going to try and shoot the guy in K6. I don't think that is clean, but that's 3 hindrances, which is not great. Shoot, what was the range on that? Range is 8. Okay, yeah, I'm 1 off. Didn't get rate either, which is fine. Kind of a bummer though, because I won't be able to take a second shot at him because he'll get in the woods. Defensive fire phase. What else do I want to do? I think it makes the most sense to get a 9 firepower up 1 against K7. 8 on 9 should be a normal morale check. Oof. That is going to ELR and break that guy because, as mentioned at the start, ELR 2 on either side, which is kind of disgusting here. That's actually really problematic. He'll be able to route, but it's not great. Advanced fire phase, none. I really don't think I have anything. This building really blocks a lot of shenanigans. You can't shoot I6 to K8. It's just, I know it's gonna clip this shed or whatever, and everywhere else is just friendly units. So it just doesn't make sense to do that. So we'll go to route phase. Routes. So the only routes I can really do, or I have to do, is K7. Nearest is J5 or K5. So I'll go to J5. It makes the most sense. Go through K6. Ooh, wait. Is he allowed to if he stays adjacent to L6? He might not be. Shoot. Can you ignore if you're adjacent? I don't think you're allowed to. If you're not allowed to, that guy immediately surrenders because he's got nowhere else to go other than being interdicted. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. Let's see if adjacent keyword here can... Nor if adjacent to a known armed enemy unit, may it route into another hex adjacent to that same unit. Yeah. A routing unit may never move adjacent to a known enemy unit unless doing so leaving that enemy unit's location, which it's not. Shoot. I think that guy has to surrender. Huh. Because the only option here is J6. And because J6... Well, actually, no, the guy's pinned. He doesn't have to. Cool. If this guy wasn't pinned... Oh, wait. Never mind. Doesn't matter. Because this guy is... Yeah, never mind. This guy is surrounded. He can't route anywhere because he's still adjacent. So, yeah, he has to surrender. Which then means I get to choose who gets to pick him. And I guess I'll give it to the pin guys. I don't think that matters all that much, but they're closer there, so yeah, I'll give it to the pin guys. This is getting crazy. I don't really expect to have this many prisoners ever. So once it starts happening a lot, it's sus. Sus to say the least. That's it for routes. Nobody else needs to route or can, well, should route anyways. Um, shoot. That ruins a lot of stuff. The first line squad in K6 goes to L6 because that makes the most sense to reinforce. But that's about it. Nobody else can advance or do anything. Is there anything else I can really advance? Really? First game? Man, where you been for all this? Nah, I say that jokingly. Yeah, we've had I'm trying to think of which game was pivotal with prisoners. I feel like there's one or two. I mean, really, I say that, but like I've played 248 games or whatever, or 248 unique scenarios. It's probably closer to like 200, 196, somewhere around there. I don't know what the number is anymore, unfortunately, because unique is not necessarily true to ASL because of reprints and whatnot. So the number of quote unquote unique is, yeah, 250 plus. But yeah, no, prisoners is cool. It's a very wild dynamic that never gets explored because people don't like playing with it. And speaking of playing with it, so I think that's all I'm going to do for advances. I guess technically I could probably send the green unit to I6 as well, just to have a good fire base. Because the Slovakians are going to need to approach it anyways. Well, I say that, but J7, you know what? No, I'm going to keep it as is. So yeah, we'll go to CC phase, and we'll see what kind of other shenanigans can go on here. So first things first, we'll do L6. Now, I do need to double check prisoner rule here for melee. Escaping. Unless a melee exists in the location, prisoners must pass a normal task check before they can attack their guard. There is a melee in all locations with prisoners, so not to that are at least have CC or whatever. This attack can only occur during the CC phase and only if the guard is broken. Once a melee exists within the location, prisoners may, during the CC phase, attack without passing a normal task check, and even if the guard is not broken. Prisoners must eliminate their guard before they can attack any other units in that location, unless they attack their guard and other units in the same location as part of the same CC attack. Once melee exists with the guard, prisoners may attempt withdrawal from melee in a subsequent CC phase. Prisoner CC attacks are sequential in that the prisoners may make all of their CC attacks before they can be attacked in turn by survivors and any other enemy units in that location. So very, very similar to vehicles. If you have a vehicle in a location, the infantry go first, then it's the vehicle, etc., etc. In a location with prisoners, the prisoners go first, then it's the infantry. And then if you had the mythical prisoner unit vehicle, it would be prisoners, then infantry, then vehicle, which is wild to think about. And because it's sequential, you could technically have like if you had 2 infantry units or whatever and they weren't eliminated by the vehicle or the prisoners, the second infantry unit could attack afterwards against the tank. Yeah, anyways, like I said, wild stuff. So yeah, I'm gonna try with the prisoners because might as well. There's no real benefit to having them withdraw from melee because they're unarmed, so they're never gonna re-equip. But if I can get a lucky CC or whatever, then they will. So in this instance, it's a 1-3, so 1-4 ratio. I don't believe there's anything. There's nothing else going on. Yeah, there's nothing else going on. So it's going to be 1-4, which if only they'd had a better roll, although that was pretty great. Didn't get anything. They were one short of it. The guards are not going to fight back. Actually, you know what? No, I might as well. I think I can shoot I can attack the prisoners and L6 because they were attacked by the prisoners. So I just so I can maintain that 1-to-1, because I think if the rule is that if you're guarding, you would you reduce your firepower by half, so it'd be 1.5. But if you're against prisoners, you don't get that half. So I think I can do it that way, which I will. So I will do 1-to-1. I won't get anything. And now the actual Polish units will do a 2-to-1 against the Slovakian guards. 2-to-1. They are also one off. That's kind of wild. That's not good because now these two guys can flood in there. Okay, so that's concluded. We'll go to this one's easy. So we'll do this one where I regenerated here. So prisoners, same idea. 1-to-4, another great roll, but one off, so nothing will happen. Yeah, I'm a 1-to-2 no matter what. So the guards are gonna fight the. Oh, you know what? I could try to prisoner. I could try to capture. Yeah, I'm gonna try and capture the greens there. So it's a 1-to-2 down one. I will eat a hat here because that's kind of crazy. Let's get these guys and these guys. I don't think I've rolled this well, this consistently for a long time in CC. So yeah, there's a leader left. So 1-to-4. No. Okay. This is so stupid. Oh man, every once in a while, you play a game and you realize just how silly this entire thing is. Just like these super commando Slovakians just like appear out of trees and grab everybody and run away. Just kind of silly. Over here, it's another 1-to-4. Nope, another really good roll. I will do a 1-to-1 against the 7-0. That is a casualty reduction, and I believe when it's CC, it's just a straight kill. Casualty reduction. I always forget casualty reduction on a leader. If it does anything, the original CC, die roll of 6. Oh no, you do go through wound severity. All right, cool. So this guy's wounded. So he's now. I really wish that would show it. So that 7-0 is now a 6-up-1, which is terrible because since he has to fight alone, because he can't. I don't think he's allowed to fight with the prisoners. Although I guess technically I could have saved my maybe whatever. I think it's more fun to do it sequentially, anyways. Because otherwise the Slovakians would have gone first, anyways. And they had really good rolls. Anyways, yeah. So that guy is injured, which is terrible for him because it means that he's a 6-up-1 now, and with 3 movement factors, and because he fights alone, he now adds his +1 modifier. Although technically, Rutan and I play with the +1 roll no matter what, but it's good to remember that that exists. So with all 3 melees out of the way, we'll go to turn 3, Slovakians. Weather 8 is nothing different, which is fine. Rally phase, I mean, Slovakians only, so they will get 1 squad back. Then the leader will also come back. Now the leader has the morale, positive there, so he won't get the 6, the last guy, but that's fine. Getting the leader back is strong. That's it for rally phase. Prep fire. Prep fire. I don't think there's any real opportunity I have here. Have it going, Baron. I'm ecstatic that you stopped by. It's always fun to have someone to especially spot check me on stuff like interrogation. It's really helpful, and I appreciate it. All right, so prep fire. I mean, this is gonna be really silly, but I'm just gonna get the +3 on it. I instantly. Why? Mortar on. I don't think it's a 2-kill. What's an area target type against the vehicle? Oh man. Excuse me. I was hoping not to cough at all today because hopefully I'm not getting a cold or whatever. But mortars against soft-skinned vehicles. I forget where that is. Rated contact, jungle, graveyard. It's probably just an area target type. Area target type. Area target type hit versus vehicles is resolved as per C1.55. Let's see what vehicle line on IFT is used for. Okay, cool. So it is a 3 firepower. IFT, nothing. Okay, cool. I did have rate of fire. Sniper doesn't activate. That's another hit. Nothing. Rate of fire. Another hit. Wait, no. The first one was a hit because it was a +3, right? And then the second one was also a hit because +3 down 1, so it gets the -2, and then that would be a +3. No, it'd be 8. So that is not a hit, but it is rate of fire. No rate of fire. Break. Dang. Well, I had to break one of these at some point, so I'm not too concerned about that. Is there any other prep fire for me to do? I know I need to take off pins because I'm a dork and I forgot to take off pins. I don't think there's anything else for me to do here. Movement phase. I will have. I will have the guy with the mortar go up to U4. And for shits and giggles, he's going to shoot at him. It's -1 for non-assault movement. It's on 4 firepower, which is a pin test check. Got the mortars pinned. That's not going to come up ever, but, you know. Is there anything else for me to do in movement phase? The 9-1. Okay, so first off, these guys are gonna join, so this guy will go. Oh, you know what? I can just drag the leader with them too. Yeah, okay. So the leader in this squad, once I start messing around, stop messing around with that, we'll go 2, 4. Come on, into K9, and then the squad will pay 1 to try and pick up and get the LMG. So they're at 5 movement factors spent. The 9-1 and squad with the LMG are going to assault move to J9. That's all I need to do. Defensive fire phase, I am going to try J5 to K8. I really don't think that's going to see it, but yeah, no. IFT, nothing. Alright, cool. Yeah. Advanced fire phase, none. Like, I don't really have to do anything here. Take off prep fire, take off defensive and residual and defensive. Nobody's broken. Advances. We'll do this. Come on. Please. Thank you. You can go here. because that's funny to me. You can go there. You can join the melee anytime now. Thank you. And then that guy stays there. That's it for advances. Yeah. Alright, CC phase. The prisoners... Well, how do I want to do this? Okay, so... The prisoners will attempt to attack their guard. No, again, another great roll. The guard... How would this work here? The guard will do 1 to or 3 to 1 against the prisoner. No, wait, no. I can target the prisoner and the 227. So I'll do that for a 1 to 1. That'll be a casualty reduction. Is it the prisoners or the 227? The 227 is eliminated. Then the 457 is going to do 1 to 1 against the guard. There's no penalties for guards, right? I don't think so. I do not think so. Cast wire, covering, withdrawing. No, I don't think there's a DRM for it, which is kind of wild. I mean, I guess they're already penalized for being with a guy, but anyways, that'll be his attack, and then the 347s are gonna do a 3 to 2, no modifier. No, cool. That stays melee. Over in J7, it is. I mean, yeah, I guess the two prisoners. I guess, do the prisoners have to do 1 to 1 or 1 to 4 against individually? I guess so. So top guy, no. Bottom guy, no. And then both Slovakian squads will pair up as a 3 to 1 against the leader. And that'll kill him. So he's gone. He started as a 7-0, so that's just 1 point. This melee finally goes away. And then over here, yeah, I guess these two can go together because they're against the one guard. So it's a 1 to 2, no effect. And then I guess like this entire thing will be 5.5 to 1. So 5 to 1. So 4 to 1, down 1. Definitely a kill. Then he wouldn't, yeah. Hopefully I'm doing this sequential stuff right. I feel like I'm doing it correctly, but if I'm not, I hope someone can point that out, whether it's here tonight or if it's on YouTube after the fact or whatever, or even on the Something Awful thread for it, which, man, I really got to update that. It sucks when your job takes a lot more time than it used to, because I wish I could put more time into that one. So that is it for CC phase for turn 3 here for the Slovakians. We go to Polish. Just trying to think here. Can I pull myself out of this? Right now, there is... What is this? That's 2, 4, 6, 10, 14 points. There's 14 CVP. 14 CVP plus a building, I think. Yeah, Slovakians get a building. So 14 plus 3 for CVP, 17 plus 1 for building, so 18 to 2. I guess like I'll try a couple shots, but if it doesn't succeed, I think I might have to concede on this one. We'll take off pins. What's the weather? No change. No change on weather. Rally phase. I mean, Slovakians will try to rally and get a squad again. Crazy. Try to repair. No. Prep fire. Prep fire. Man, they have to shoot at their own guys too. That's the worst. Mortar in G8 is going to attempt to shoot at K8. That's a +2. That'll be a miss. No rate. Damn. Give him a Hungarian color there. There. Link it. And then I don't really have much else of a choice outside of like MMG and squad 8-1 against the guy in the building, 8-on-8. The prisoners also have to take checks, so I guess we'll do it just in order, top down. So prisoner, squad breaks, prisoner, and squad. So this guy's halved, which I forget if that counts double. So I'm just going to give him a point for now. And then this guy broke. Did not ELR, he just broke. Although, also, I forgot to do transfer of stuff and whatever. Does the top guy pick up the machine gun? He does. Cool. I don't think there's any other transfers I was going to possibly do anyways. Let me take that off. Alright, is there anything else in prep fire? So that IFT, it was no rate of fire, so that's just prepped. I mean, go for an 8 up 3? Is that a 3 or 2? That's clean. Wow, okay. Well, 8 up 2. 5-on-8. One of those great shots that you don't expect. 2 morale check. So same as before, I guess. So prisoners are fine. I don't think they trigger sniper because I think that's their own unit. I'm not sure how that works. This guy is now halved, so one of the few actual casualties taken here. There's a 2 morale check, so another. This guy's just wiped out. So +1. We'll just toss this to the side there, and then that guy will ELR and break. And for shits and giggles, no. Okay, cool. Movement phase, none. Everybody's moved. Defensive fire phase. 7 up 3? Is that a woods? Yeah, 7 up 3. Nope. No rate either. Man, I don't know what these guys can shoot at. I guess I can technically hit that building. So, yeah, why not? This stack, J8, is going to shoot at H5. It's a +4. But it's +4 on 10. Sorry, and leader, so it's a +3. 10 up 3. No. Cool. That's all I can do. Advanced fire phase, none. Routes, some. So I might as well just move these guys back. There's no other. Yeah, there's nothing else I really need to do. Advances? Is there any advances I can do? Like, sending these guys to K6 is suicide. There's literally no point. I guess I'm gonna do this just because I think the guys, the 457 in the building is gonna be better. Longer range. CC. CC, we've got the one melee that's been going on here. So 1 to 4, nope. The guard will fight back because why not? 3 to 1, nope. And then we've got a 1 to 1. He'll fight the guard because why not? No. And then a 3 to 2 from the 6 to 4. That'll be a straight up kill. God damn, really? The melee finally goes away. Oh, do these guys pass a normal task check? No, they don't fight the guards. So we go to rally phase. Slovakians turn 4, and like, I don't know if there's a point anymore here, cause like, there's nothing else you can really do as the Polish to recover from this. How would I get back from this? Like, the problem is that there's two. How do the Poles would have to, I guess, claim a building, like take J7 back. But even if you do that, actually they wouldn't be able. Nah, I think in the interest of my own sanity, since I'm pretty tired. Not that I want to use that as a crutch, but like I am pretty tired, and I don't know how the Poles get back from this one, because the reason is because the Slovakians get the last turn. So there's technically no location that they can secure. So for example, um so I'll try to play this last turn fast here as a kind of show off what I mean here. So turn 4 for the Slovakians. Weather, no change, cool. We go to rally phase. There's the usual, we'll do double rally. The M comes off. That's it. And then repair. Nothing. Cool. So we go to prep fire. There's nothing for the Slovakians to prep fire outside of like, I guess I can prep fire against G8. It's a 7. I think it was an up 3 because of 2 hindrance plus woods. 9 on 7 might be a pentash check. Yes. So pentash check on these guys. They're fine. Cool. Now, if it had pinned them, obviously it'd be worse for them, blah, 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 but not really the end of the world no matter what. We'll go to movement phase. So in the movement phase, the guys with the half squad here, guys with the half squad are going to not even declare CX. They're just going to go up to L7 for 2 and then L8 for 4. The guy with the LMG with the 2 half squads, right? Yeah. He's going to go 2, 4. And then in the advanced phase, they're going to exchange. So I have nothing to worry about from these guys. The leader and squad with the double LMG are going to assault move to I9. Now, no matter what, I've got no good shots for this. So I think I will take a 4 up 2. Didn't get anything. And like, I could technically, this shot is so close. I think it would be clean. It's an 8 up 1. Does that see it or not? It does. Okay. So it's a normal morale check. So leader is fine. Squad is pinned. I didn't need those guys to go any further anyways, because the threat of getting into H8 is enough to satisfy my wants and desires. And problematically, now with this LMG having shot, it has to make a choice as to where it points. And It cannot point in a way that threatens this side. So the only thing left for these guys, for this location, is to subsequent with the squad only. And I could just say, like, it doesn't really matter. I don't really care about that. Right? Um, Especially since I could say to myself, well, I want to assault move. I'll have one guy assault move from L6 to L5. I can't let that slide. So the squad will shoot at them. Now, if I understand this correctly, from last time, this was coming up with the leader modifier. Because he's not shooting with the MMG, the leader isn't providing a bonus anymore because it doesn't include everybody. Unless I'm misunderstanding that. But we'll say regardless, it's a 4 down 1, right? 6 on 4 normal, guy's pinned. Cool, didn't matter, right? Like, it sucks that he's pinned, but I don't really care about that. Why? Because I can do this now where I declare CX, go 2, 4, 5, and I don't need to go the extra 6. Now I could, but then, he can shoot at me and blah, 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 blah. Him just being there is great. I also didn't do mortar against this, and that's always funny. So unfortunately, that is a hit. No effect rate. Cool. Didn't matter. As they say in the business, good talk. So yeah, those movements are done. I can now get K5 for sure, and depending on how things go, if this is also subsequent, depending on how things go, I can now threaten this entire side of the board. And even if I didn't, this guy exists. So, for example, I could do 2, 4, 6. And now mortar can't shoot at this guy, so I'm going to take the opportunity for a 2 flat. No, Andy, well, he cowers, but that doesn't really matter. Like no final, so at least there's that. But yeah. So what else? Like, what else do you do? Who else do you shoot with? Like, defensive fire phase, 4. That's an up 4, so it's not like I could roll it, but it's not gonna do anything no matter what. I would have to get Snake Eyes, but then Snake Eyes is cowering, so yeah, that doesn't work no matter what. So we go to advanced fire phase. I don't need to do any advanced fire phase. We go to routes. Yeah, this mortar guy didn't. There's no point shooting there. So these guys aren't DM. There's no routes to do. Advances. In the advanced phase, I'm going to trade the prisoners. Are going to go to the guy without the LMG. So they're considered moved now. This guy can go into the building. So now I've secured that, which is great. The guy with the MMG can go into this building because I only need the leader here. Although I guess technically I should keep him around just for the guards and whatever, but blah 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 blah. CX guy can go into K5. And then CC phase, do they pass task check? No, so they don't even attack. Yeah. So that happened on that turn. So now I have to fight. I need to try and kill so many units and get a minimum of 3 buildings. But if this guy doesn't succeed, which 2 firepower, like 4 up 2, unlikely to do anything. Like maybe, right? Same thing with this machine gun. Like, it's possible that this machine gun goes on a tear, blows this guy up, can't shoot at this guy if he shoots at these 2 guys, etc., etc., etc. But you still have to grab these 3 buildings, and if this guy breaks, then one of these two units can make a break for these back buildings. So I think it's fair to say that under just about any circumstance, barring extreme luck that only goes the Polish side, which we've seen potentially once or twice before, but and I could potentially do overruns and whatever with the Tachanka, but that's like it's the only thing at this point that could do anything. But I'm so I'm eh. If the Tachanka was just a regular guy, it would be so much better. Because the Tachanka is just weird. Like, you have to point him, he has to stop, and it's his rear covered arc. And there's the whole thing of like the Tachanka machine gun has a crew that's apart from the vehicle crew. It's weird. So I don't like it. It's just extra rules that um if I'd rather just play with vehicles. I'd rather play with like almost any other vehicle than a Tachanka. But yeah, I think it's fair to say that the Polish could concede here. There's just not. I don't really know what else. Like what else you do. Weather, no change. The double rally for the Slovakians. They get one back, which is the guy with the guard, and then the conscript does a casualty reduction or fate, I guess technically. And then double repair didn't matter. Yeah, like 16 of 1. Come on. Of all the times to ever roll two 12s in a row. I don't even get anything on a 13. Yeah, I'd be fine with declaring it over here just out of spite for that. Cuz like that was the only good unit to do anything with. Like what else do we do? 4 up 2? No. Uh 8 up 4? No. Even if I'd done separately, it wouldn't have. The Tachanka could technically do something, but honestly, like, one, he only gets to go against the brush, maybe these guys. If he breaks one, everybody else runs into the woods, so the Tachanka doesn't get to do anything anymore. Everybody's already in buildings elsewhere. These guys are in woods, they're not in the road. So, that sort of idea. And then, if the Tachanka fails and blows up, I think the Tachankas are 5 CVP, but they might be worse. Unless they're like 7 or whatever. But I don't know if they are. I would feel weird to say that they are 7, but anyways, I think I can call it here. Enough dilly dallying. Honestly, it's a fun scenario. I enjoy it far more than it probably sounds like. Just because I think this one was a wild one where I accidentally put my greens in positions that frankly weren't too bad, but once they started getting captured from all of the good CC rolls, that's where it really became problematic. If I was doing this, if I was playing against Rutan, and it was average CC rolls, I think it would be way different. Like I didn't roll a single 12 on CC, and although I rolled a lot of 8s. Some of them, I think a lot of those 8s were on the Polish side and were misses, and there was at least one of them which was on like a 3-1 or whatever, so it was a kill anyways. So I think there's a lot of times where the CCs really went the way of the Slovakian side, and the Polish, especially the prisoners, rolled really well, but they were constantly like one off of being able to affect the guards and be able to escape and all that. And if they'd escape, that'd be cool. It'd be even better because obviously there's the rearming. The rearm is greens or conscripts. I think the lowest no matter what, but They'd rearm as really crappy units, so they're not necessarily immune to being recaptured or anything like that. There's like a fun dynamic there. But yeah, like I think the scenario is more fun than I might be letting it out to be, or making it out to be. I think the only thing that sucks, that I'm not a fan of, is honestly just like the Polish get a mortar. It's a really crappy mortar. There's not much you can really do about that in terms of selection. At some point, units, they historically, sides had bad mortars, and at some point you got to give them in scenarios, because otherwise you just never see it, and that would be far more ahistorical than having them in and just sucking. I just think that this map doesn't really. It's the same problem as a lot of other maps, where finding really good locations with which to use the mortars is it's a hidden talent. I have to say, I don't think I fully grasp it, even though I don't think my mortars in this scenario were bad. Breaking them both didn't help. But I think it's anybody who can finesse that with mortars. I think kudos to them. Um, I think there might be something to uh, the idea of like spotters, and spotters probably don't get used nearly as much as they probably could. But that's like the only thing I could really come up with in maps like this, where there's just so much foliage, there's so much grain, there's so much brush. It gets really hard to ever get anything clean, and it makes it just tough to do anything. The three, although I will say the three rate of fire is fantastic, and I don't think I will ever complain about something having three rate of fire. This is great. Why would you not want that? Even if it's a shitty gun, you get to really explore the depths of random chance and all that. So, anyways, I hope everybody else, I hope you, the watcher, also had fun. As always, Mondays, Saturdays, stop by, chit chat, whatever. Send me, even if it's not on those days, send me a DM on Twitch or YouTube or something awful, or to my personal email. If you somehow manage to find that, please treat it with respect. um, should be a game on Saturday. I'm not really sure how, if anything's gonna be too crazy, because it is Canadian Thanksgiving this coming weekend. Excuse me. Should have a game. And then yeah, should have some more action next Monday as well. There is, I believe, I haven't pimped my Twitch page in a long time, but if you scroll down on the channel page, I believe there's a link to the Google Docs, the spreadsheet I use, that has all the scenarios I own or that I should have access to. So if anybody is curious about what is still available to play, or what's coming up in the coming weeks and months, please don't hesitate to check it out. And if you have any scenarios, or any scenario packs or whatever that you would love to see, whether it's in the near future or not, always looking for feedback on that sort of thing. If anybody is curious about new packs, or old packs, new packs, whatever might be coming up, I try to keep an eye out for anything that's going to be interesting. And with so many options, sometimes I get a little stun locked. So if anybody wants to kind of nudge me towards a specific thing, definitely feel free to do so. So until Saturday, I hope you all have a lovely week. And as before, anybody currently being affected by the hurricanes down south, please stay safe. And yeah, bye.